Hi, and welcome back to another AnyRPG Development Livestream. In these videos, I livestream the development of the AnyRPG Engine, a 100% free and open source role-playing game engine designed in Unity and written in C#. These videos are unscripted and give you a chance to take a behind-the-scenes look at the unfiltered, methodical side of software development. For more information on AnyRPG, be sure to check out AnyRPG.org, where you can find documentation on the engine, links to the full source code at the official GitHub repository, and downloadable versions of AnyRPG Alpha, a free game designed to showcase the features of the AnyRPG engine. If you'd like to see more of this content in the future, be sure to like the videos, subscribe to the Cohesion YouTube channel, or just leave a message in the comments telling me what you'd like to see. In today's episode, we will be continuing the creation of prefabs for our example scenes and items for our Unity package, so that we have a full set of examples so that anyone that downloads the Unity package we're about to release will be able to have just some easy references without having to read pages of documentation. So I'm just continuing to go through and make sure that all the icons are the sample icons that we own, and just make sure that all the currencies are our example versions of those currencies. And one thing that I thought that it might be kind of fun to do, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it right away or not, but like all the levels that we have in the game, you could actually make versions of them basically that just exist on like flat squares with the mobs just sort of like standing a little bit apart from each other, and then use and then just use all the sample prefabs. They would be pretty funny empty levels, but you could actually like play the entire game through on just like squares by doing that. For now, I think we'll just start with the two that we have. The two levels, the default level basically, and the combat scene, but it would be kind of neat to do that in the future. Also, I was going to say, yeah, if you're watching this and you are like a graphic artist or something, and you have items, like icons or prefabs or anything like that, that you want people to see, as long as you make them public domain, or at least give permission to redistribute them. I'd love to have that kind of stuff in the example scene, rather than just like these sample token icons and stuff, because it would be really nice to be able to distribute like just a fuller looking example. I don't know if I have a fish icon here. No, okay, well, I guess I have this open, so I'm just going to make a fish icon. and then change that to Sprite, 2D, and UI. And then no compression, because these are super tiny, 12 kilobytes. And then let's use our new fish icon. I don't have a meat icon, so we might as well make one of those as well. And then we can import that. And change it to a sprite. Okay, and that needs to be changed to the example version. Eat raw white mullet and example silver. And this needs to be example silver. And this needs to be eat. Is that uncooked or cooked ham? Cooked ham. Yeah, okay. Okay, and now we've got our gathering ingredients that we need to change. Let's see if we have a wood icon. No, we don't have a wood icon, so let's make a wood icon. And we'll want to import that as well. Change it to a sprite, use our preferred settings. Okay, and then same thing for the birchwood. And yeah, why not? Bluestone, sure. Okay, and let's see, do we have a gem? We don't. So we will make sample gem icon. And import that into our icons folder. And then go back to our gathering items and example blue stone. Okay, that looks good. Example brown mushroom. And let's see, we don't have mushroom, but fungi is a nice 5-letter word that we can use for that instead. And then we'll want to recenter that. Control Alt, move it to the center. Export that. And then import it into here. Alright, and now we got an icon for it. Okay. And use our silver there. Give some example flax. And let's see, do we have a grass icon? We totally don't. So we can do that. Wow. That doesn't even work at 17. Okay. And you know what? Because flax is a 4-letter word, why not? I mean, it's not like these things take up a lot of space. We can make the world's biggest collection of simple, ugly, useless sample icons if we feel like it. Actually, that might even be useful. I might even just post this like to the Unity Asset Store as a separate. Yeah, actually, hey, so if you're watching this and you want me to post these icons like just as a separate set to the asset store, I can totally do that. And in fact, like if I do that, I can go through and make a whole pile of like pretty much any 4-letter word in the dictionary or 5-letter word almost that you want to, because why not? We're trying to make a really useful tool with this game here, so seems like a good set of public domain icons would be useful. I mean, they're kind of ugly. You're not going to use them like in your real game, but if you just need to do like a quick prototype or something, it might be okay. Okay, let's go back to our gathering here, and we have our new flax icon. Let's see if I have an iron icon. Yeah, I got some iron. Oh, you know what? I think I messed up when I made the iron icon. I need to re-import it because I forgot to increase the size of the iron. So let's see, do I need to, I think I need to re-import it as well. the old one and rename that. Yeah, that's better. The word iron is like bigger in the center now. Okay, so going back to our items, and I think I actually need to replace this because it'll be referring to the old missing one that I just deleted. Up here, and then go down into gathering, and we've got iron ore. And we want sample iron icon. Alright, that's better. And then point this to our example silver. Same thing for the moonstone. And let's see, do I have a stone icon? Wow, I don't have a stone icon, so let's make one of those too. And then we'll need to import that. Change it to a sprite. Set our preferred settings on it. And change that to stone. Okay, purple crystal. And this one I think is just going to be a sample item icon, because this is, I think, no, this isn't part of the quest icon. Actually, I'm not sure what that is. That one I might not even be using. Shiny moonstone. So we'll use stone icon. Silver. And this one can be fungi as well. And then our swamp reed. Yeah, and this is where, you know what? Why don't we make a reed icon? Why not? It's 4 letters. And of course change that one to a sprite. And now we've got a read icon. Because we got a bag full of these icons and they all say like sample item icon, it's going to be a little bit hard to tell them apart, so might as well, if it's something nice and easy, 5 letters or less, and we can do without a generic, then why not? Okay, vial of water. Let's see. Choose water. Yeah, we got a water icon. That's close enough. Okay, good. And now on to our potions. This This one was restore 1000 health. Okay, you know what? Health potions. We'll change all the icons on all the health potions just to red all at the same time, because that is going to be constant across all of them. And then same thing for the mana potions. We will change all of those to blue at the same time. You know, actually, guess what's a 4-letter word? Mana. Alright. And I don't have that, and that's like a really common thing for role-playing games, so we should probably have a sample mana icon. And then we need to import that. Okay, and now we can go back to our potions and we can set all of our mana potions to have the mana icon. Okay. Actually, you know what, the red ones? I have a heal icon. Let's do that instead, because health is like, heal is the base word of health, so that's close enough. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And then these guys are all silver, so I can just change all of their currencies. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do the individual ones. So this is example silver, and then for the mana potions we can change them all at the same time as well. There. And then all we have to do is just change these. So this was 2000 health. $2,000 mana. It's actually kind of handy that it, when we pull this thing up, it's actually by default only searching in the local resources folder. Because when I start typing restore, it's only showing me those ones. 1000 mana, 500 health, 500 mana, 200 health, and 200 mana. Okay, and then we just have to change the names. Okay, that looks good. And then we have these quest start items. You know what? We might as well use these, because I mean, we went through and created copies of like every spell in the game basically inside of this sample, which is like way more than I was originally planning to do, but I think it's going to be useful, so why not? And so why don't we just, yeah, we'll have copies of all these items too, just as examples. I think maybe what I'll do is like I might set the quest to be all auto learned at like level 5, and then have these things so that you could learn them at level 1. Because if you auto learn all of your quests, then these crystals will basically be useless, because that's what they do, is they give you quests that teach you abilities. And then I can just have like a quest that literally says like just get me to level 5 or something, and the quest gives like 10,000 XP or whatever the amount we need to just jump straight to level 5. So this is air. Let's see, do we have air? Wow, we don't have an air icon. Let's make an air icon. And then we'll import that. And I haven't created example quests yet. I think I skipped that. Yeah, okay, so we'll have to leave these for now. We'll have to come back to that in a little bit here. Death. I have a die icon, but I don't think I actually have a death icon. Let's just check that. Nope, no death icons. So create one. And import that. And let's just see, I think these are all, these all have silver as their currency. Yeah, they do. Okay, good. So we can change that all at the same time. And earth. That's a good one. Do we have earth? No, we have armor. Okay, let's see if we can get an earth icon. And we'll import that. Change that to a sprite. And pretty sure we have a fire icon. Yeah, okay. And I think we have an ice icon as well. let's see, do we have a life icon? No, no life icons, okay. So we'll make a life icon. And we'll import that one, change it to a sprite. And let's see, do we have a rune icon? We don't. Okay, so we'll change that to a rune icon. And we need to import that then. And we can change that to our new rune icon now. And then let's see, pretty sure we've got a water icon. Yeah, and we'll just change that to a rune icon. This one can be a death icon. Same thing for this one. And let's see, do we have the word glow? We don't. So why not make the word glow 4 letters so it'll fit no problem and still be half decently, not too super fuzzy. And then we'll import that. And change it to a sprite. Okay, and on to the scrolls. And what I'd kind of like, scroll is a little long, but we have 3-letter abbreviations of all those things, and I don't think I've created those, so let's do an agility. And strength. Stamina. And finally int. we'll want to import all 4 of those. And then change their types to sprites, trilinear, no compression. Now we can go back into our scrolls and we can assign them icons that are a little closer to what they actually are. And these are all silver, so we'll just do example silver for all of them. And those abilities we can actually change too. So we had buff agility, buff intellect, buff stamina, and buff strength. Alright, and on to weapons now. We're not doing the Night Maul, and we're not doing the Paladin Bastard Sword, and we don't need the machete or the sickle. Just the rune hammer and rune sword. The machete and sickle were things I tested like a long time ago, back when I actually was still using like the original Brackeys level. Before I actually started creating any of the alpha content here. So let's see, do we have a bone icon? We don't. So let's do a bone icon. And then we can import that. And let's see. Change that to our example gold. And the holdable object will be the example bone shield. And bone spikes gets changed with example bone spikes. Okay, and then we have our example bone staff. Now, I did make a staff icon, cool. And we'll change that to example gold and example bone staff, example undead slayer, human staff attacks. Did I change that? Yeah, I did. Awesome. Okay. Demonic control. And I'm going to remove the sound effect there. Dragon blade, so I think I have a sword icon. Change that to example silver, example dragon blade, and I think I actually changed that So I only have one sort ability. I think I just saved double slash. And example 2H sword. Change our sound effect to nothing. And then for the initiates staff, change that to sample staff, example silver, example initiate staff, example human staff attacks, and no hit sound effect. Rune hammer can be, I don't know, rune I guess. Gold, example gold, example rune hammer, example one-handed sword. Technically it's a hammer, but I don't have like a one-handed mace, and since the one-handed sword and mace effects are basically exactly the same, then I'm just using that for now. And necromancy. And then we've got a sword icon here. Gold. Oops. Example rune sword. We'll just do example double slash. And then attack animations, example one-handed sword, rune sword on hit. Change that out for our example version. Change that out, and it looks like cool. Looks like we're good there for the items. I did those already, skills and scene nodes. Don't think I've done recipes yet. Yeah. Let's see, quests as well. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't hurt to do the quests. These will come in useful if I end up doing eventually the entire levels, like entire versions of the alpha example levels as just like empty levels on big, huge, giant squares with all the characters with Uma models or something like that. It'd be pretty funny because you'd see everything named Mouse or Goblin or whatever would just have like a standard sort of naked human Uma model. Okay, that's almost everything. As I go through this, I'm realizing how much content is in this thing. It's a lot of quests and items are in here already. I think by the time I get through all this stuff, it's going to be like about 4 hours total of just making copies of the sample scriptable objects here. Some of these we'll have to modify a little bit if we do end up using them, because we don't actually have like plate armor available as redistributable stuff right now. We've got the like the Uma stuff, the cloth armor and the leather armor, but Uma does not include examples of plate armor, so the plate armor that we do have is a third-party package. Okay, and then achievements. No, actually maybe that's right, maybe there are only 5 achievements in the game, or 6. Okay, and all the achievements just have stars, so pretty sure I've got a sample star icon there. Okay, so then we want to go through and update. Actually, I'll just do the achievements first. So we want example Undead Slayer, example A Tear in Reality, example In Case of Emergency, example Join the Sunsworn. Spaces don't matter because the whole thing gets converted to lowercase anyway, and all like punctuation, spaces and stuff get removed. So these are just going to be compared on the string, the stripped string basically. Actually, I should open up all of these because, yeah, there we go. Don't want to miss anything in there. You know what? We can't use a heavy suit of armor. Yeah, because we don't have any plate armor. Oh wait, what's this? This is heavy suit of armor, right? Okay. Yeah, we can just delete that. We do need the light suit of armor though. And example, a little help from my friends. funny, the advantage of having all these text fields here is that if you ever change your source mechanism for where you're getting the information from, then you don't have to change these objects. But the disadvantage is that when you create or update the objects you're referencing, you have to go swap all of them manually or come up with like a different mechanism to manage that, because like if we had a reference to a scriptable object, for example, and then we renamed that, you know what? We don't need all these. Whoops, yeah, actually we need blessing of the makers. But that's it. The rest of those can get deleted. Although in this case, because we were doing like copies of the original, I don't think that would matter. The references would probably, like as we saw in all the other ones, still be pointing to the originals, not the copies we made. Okay, so it looks like we're getting pretty close to finished updating all the quests. Sergio, are you wondering like what the PC specs that I'm running the demo on, or like what the minimum PC specs are required for to run this. Okay, good. That's all the quests done. Right now, let's see here. So I'm running this on a computer with a 4 core 8 logical processor Intel i7, and I've got a NVIDIA video card. I think it's not like a particularly great video card. It's only got it's a GTX 750 Ti with 2 or 3 gigabytes of video RAM, and then I'm running 16 gigs of RAM, but I never use that. You can see even with Unity here. I mean, this is a huge game with a lot of content in it, so the memory is a little high. It takes a long time to load Unity, like a minute or two just to get this project up. But actually running it, if you run the executable, it runs pretty quickly, and I haven't had any frame rate issues with this setup. Yeah, I haven't tried it on a laptop or anything, if that's what you mean. Eventually I want to run this thing, I want to do exports for OS X, web player, Xbox and stuff too. Yeah, I'm sure definitely those video cards would probably be okay for it. The main thing, it's actually kind of funny because the thing that I found that's the slowest for these is actually creating and deleting objects. So I can have a lot of spell effects happening on my screen. Yeah, laptop. Yeah, good question. I don't know, I know I used to try to play World of Warcraft on the laptops, and it was not the greatest experience. I haven't actually tested. That's an interesting question. Let's just see right now. If I just go and run this game, where is it here? I've got Unity projects here, and AnyRPG builds, and let's just try to run the latest version of this. I just want to see how much memory it's actually going to take up here. Whoops, yeah, the last one was 5.1. So we'll try that, and let's just look at our task manager and see what we get here. Huh, not bad. Just trying to run this here. Okay, yeah, it's still loading. Just looking at my task manager. Okay, let's just jump into the game and just try a new game here. See what happens. And we'll just skip that cutscene here. And so I noticed that the biggest issue actually comes from having a lot of objects on screen. So if you have for example, there's 49,000 objects in this screen right now. And that was actually the biggest slowing down factor. If you can have all these objects rendered as a single texture in a single object, it's a lot better. But because I'm using free assets, it wasn't that wasn't an option. So this game right now, running 1 gig of RAM, I don't know, it doesn't really tell me my GPU usage, but that just gives you an idea of maybe the resource requirements. And then yeah, obviously my Unity there was taking up about 8 gigs of RAM, but this is a pretty big game. I think like with Unity, I think what makes more not sure about specifically Crossfire. My background is actually like a lot more in like coding, like C development and stuff, than actually the graphical end of things. But from what I noticed, like the biggest things that are going to slow you down is having individual objects. Whereas like UMA, for example, is a really good example of using your memory efficiently, because what UMA does is it actually combines like everything into a single texture, and that's the biggest thing. Yeah, I haven't specifically used AMD Crossfire before. Once I get basically like the main engine for this thing built, like I mean the scriptable objects and like all the code that's driving it, I'm going to start learning a lot more, hopefully, about performance optimization, because that's going to be really important once network support is added into this, because we'll definitely want to optimize this thing, because I mean once you get like 100 players on screen, it's going to be a lot different than just having a single player with like a set number of objects where you can just like easily basically test in a sandbox right now. Oh, you know what? We don't even need any of the plate recipes. That's a good question. For the laptops, sometimes what I've seen specifically in the past is that like one of your laptop video cards will be an onboard video card, and then you'll have basically like add-on video cards that are usually connected to like your HDMI or whatever your external ports are. And for some, like sometimes you might have to look around in the BIOS or the UEFI of your computer. There might be a setting in there that's making one of those types of cards invisible. But I would try to figure out maybe which one of those two cards, like the one that is being detected, is it an onboard card or is it like an external card? And then you might like look around on the Unity forums for like detecting onboard cards versus detecting external cards. It's the only thing I can think of, because I know I had a laptop once like that at work, and it had an onboard card and then it had like some extra NVIDIA cards with lots of RAM. On most computers, you can disable at least one of the video cards the the UEFI. Depending on your model of laptop, it's going to be a little bit different, but usually like you have to press like delete or F11 or F12 or something like that at startup. And then those types of settings are usually in that UEFI configuration. Yeah, Asus laptops are pretty, I think they're pretty standard. I don't know, like when you reboot your computer, you might see on screen at the very beginning, just for like a few seconds, where it says like press some key to enter setup. and that's what you want to look for. Like when you power it right off and power it on, it might show up for a few seconds. If not, like you could just basically Google like ASUS BIOS or ASUS UEFI. I'll just yeah, games are pretty good at detecting the video cards, I think, depending like how careful the developers were. Most games, I think, will want to know all the video cards on your system. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure then. The best, like you might find more information on that, like on the ASUS support forums or something. Each laptop manufacturer, they do things a little differently. So like I think the one I had was a Dell, and all the options were in there. The Dells were really nice. I haven't had much like problems. The Asus laptops have been pretty good to me, but I haven't tried using them like for gaming. I think the most important thing on your laptop is basically going to be like how much RAM you have and how many CPU cores you have available. Um, that's what's going to determine, like, I mean, basically if you've got like 16 gigs of RAM on your laptop, you'll probably have no problems developing games, because the biggest factor in the performance of your machine is whether or not you have to swap out of your RAM onto your hard drive if you run out of RAM. And so I notice, for example, like if you look at my task manager right now and you see basically like I have all this free memory right here, 16 gigs, and I'm only using like 7 gigs of it. um, I've actually ran like 3 copies of Unity before. 8 gigs of RAM, you might you'd start swapping with that, because you can see right now like I'm using 7 gigs of RAM. You could probably make like a really simple game that doesn't have a whole pile of assets in it. I literally imported like 700 assets from the asset store though, so my project is pretty huge. I think if you were careful, you could probably get away with it. Yeah, i5 processors are great. You might have trouble with like an i3 or something like that, but an i5 should be okay. The best thing to do is just like just try, if you just load up Unity with like a basic package, you'll see sort of how much RAM it uses by default, and then just sort of watch your memory as you start importing stuff. And like with my project, I have a ton of stuff imported that I'm never going to use, and it's chewing up a ton of RAM. So I guess one thing that's a really good thing that I found is basically if you want to test stuff for import, then you can go and create like a brand new project and just import stuff in it. And then when you decide that you like something, just import like just that one item into your main project. I guess the other thing that's going to affect your performance a lot is basically whether you're using a solid state drive or a regular hard drive as well. Like if you're using a solid state drive, that's definitely the best, just because of all of the stuff you end up loading. The quicker you can get it off disk, the better. Looks like I still have to get rid of that fighters there. Okay, so I'm keeping the male challenger icons just because those are part of the UMA package by default. So pretty sure, because UMA's MIT, we're allowed to redistribute that. It's nice to not have to use those ugly sample icons when we don't have to. Okay, so everything is example, example, example. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, cool. And tailoring recipes now. The sample icons right here, like all these ones, let's see, I have 85 of them now. Basically, like I have a whole pile of icons in the game. You know, if you look at this list here, you can see like these are all of the icons that I've downloaded from the Unity Asset Store, but I haven't contacted the authors and asked for permission to basically include them in the Unity package. And so anything from the Unity Asset Store, like you can include it in your game, but you need to get permission if you want to actually like redistribute it inside your package. So that's why I'm just making these little ugly sample icons here, because I don't need to ask basically anyone for permission to redistribute those. Eventually I want to go contact all the authors though, and and see who I can get permission to redistribute, so that the Unity package I create is going to be a lot more complete looking, hopefully. So everything in my list here, yeah, it's all free assets basically. Here, I'll just jump on. Let me open up the Unity asset store here. Actually, I think I can do that from right inside the game. Yeah, asset store. So I'll just let that load up here for a second and just go to my assets. Okay, there we go. So everything that I've used in the game here is mostly like from the asset store, and you can see that I've got 772 items here that I've collected and added from the Unity asset store, and I haven't added a credit card or a payment method or anything, so every single thing in here is entirely free. Okay, I don't have a linen icon, so we'll just make one of those real quick. And then import that as well. Change it to a sprite. Then we can give it a nice linen icon. Yeah, I actually noticed that thing that you're talking about. In fact, like if you look for, I think it's called like 9 buildings or something like that. Yeah, 9 fantasy buildings. When I started this one, there we go. When I started this, I had actually this fountain. This is the Fountain of Time that I'm using, and it was free when I got it, and it's actually $4.99 now. I think there was one other package I noticed that did that. And so, like, I definitely have a feeling the author would not allow me to redistribute the Fountain of Time. So that's definitely why I'm going through here, and changing these just to like stuff that I have created for at least the example package anyway. I don't think I have a glove icon either. All the prefabs that I'm going to make for this are just literally going to be like cubes with just a blank material on them or a colored material, and then that way I don't have to worry about royalties for those as well. I'm still trying to find some really good royalty-free combat animations. Like I found some decent ones in the Carnegie Mellon library for like punches and kicks, but nothing good for like weapons like swords or anything. Oh, I don't think I imported that glove icon. Okay, and then, yeah, there we go, sample glove icon. Let's see, do I have a robe icon? Nope. Whoops. Help if I spell it right. No, no robe icon. Actually, you know what? We can just use the cloth robe. Is that, here, let's just take a look at that. Oh, nice. Price drop. Okay, cool. It's like a list of everything that's currently on sale on the Unity Asset Store. Now free. Wow, look at that. Simple icons, you don't say. Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, thank you for that. I think I'll keep an eye on this page for sure here. Nice to know that you can get a preview of that. That's like really useful. Yeah. I'm always in need of icons. I mean, one thing, like, I am totally not a graphic designer, and so like I download literally every icon set that I can, just to try to have some good variety. And it's nice to have like a consistent look where all the icons are the same style rather than having like this random patchwork of them, for sure. Oh, there's even like a better one. Assets gone free. Oh, there we go. Oh, nice. And that, cool. So you don't even have to look through the list. Wow. That's kind of a neat guy. It's too bad he's not like sci-fi or anything, but Snow Mountain, do I have that one already? Nice. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, very cool. I will definitely check these out later on. See if I might want to use them somewhere. I've got, let's see here. You can see, if I open up this environments list here, you can see all these levels here. I've got, let's see, like 46 of them basically. I've included 3 so far, but these are all the ones I've downloaded and marked for inclusion in the game later, because it's amazing. I like to find these free assets and then just sort of download them in advance, and then you've got a whole pile of content. When you need to make a new level, you can just sort of look through and like, oh hey, look, I've got a lake level here or something I tagged as a desert level. I have a little bit of music. Let's see. There's some pretty good stuff in here too, actually. I found like some really cool music. Where did I put it in here? Sound. There we go. So I've got medieval action packs, Tazo FX, zombie horror music, and then there's like this Anya music. So yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff in here. I'm always looking for like a better selection of sound effects and music. I haven't put a whole lot of time into that yet, but like all my casting and stuff, it would be nice to get some better stuff for that. It would also be really nice to get like some absolute public domain royalty free music, but I haven't really spent much time searching for that yet, because that way, like I'm removing all the sound effects when I'm making this example package, just because I don't have public domain sounds for this stuff yet. I have not added a frames per second counter yet to it. No, I know that would. I'd actually like to do that. It should be pretty easy to do, I think. Like the way you do like Control R or Control F in like a lot of video games to see the little FPS on screen there. I want to start actually adding like a lot more sort of like management utilities and stuff like that. At this point, I'm still working on like a lot of the really basic features in the engine. Oops, these are the cloth boots, right? Yeah, so I think the icon I have for them is actually the cloth. No, shoes. It's the mystical shoes or something. There we go, mystic shoes. Okay, let's see. Everything down here says example now. Good. And everything either says sample or it's part of the basic UMA stuff that we can redistribute. So that is awesome. Okay, good. And that looks okay. So, wow, I think that might be like pretty much everything. Okay, so let's see here. Just test. I'm going to make all of these. Yeah, they're required level 1. Auto add to bars. Ah, there we go, auto learn. So now theoretically, if I go into my example load game manager, which I'm in, I should have a whole pile of abilities now. Let's go check that out. The ray tracing question, that's a really good question. I'm not sure specifically. Oh, the default unit prefab is null on my example game manager. Okay. Yeah, I haven't tried most of the advanced graphical stuff. I put the high definition rendering pipeline into my project and it just absolutely destroyed the entire project and turned like a lot of my textures completely pink. So I actually took it out and recreated the project without any of the high definition stuff, just because I didn't want to spend the time to go fix like hundreds of textures. And so I decided to sort of keep my graphical stuff pretty basic for now, until I can learn more about how to do that without wrecking your project or having to spend like a long time fixing it. Let's see here. I need the default player UMA unit, which is this one. Huh. Oh, right, that's example. No, it's up there in the engine. Yeah, there we go. And we want that as an override in our example game manager. Okay, let's try that again. I know I've seen like all the Unreal duplicate key name woodworking. Okay, so somewhere in our example we have woodworking. I know like I've seen all the Unreal ray tracing demos and stuff, and those are pretty cool. Like even Minecraft with ray tracing looks really good. It's amazing what a difference it makes for sure. Okay, so we have woodworking down here somewhere, and I think that might be example woodworking skill. No, must be one of our abilities. Ah, yeah, there we go. Just make sure. Okay, wow, yeah, I have to go through and do that on all of them. Looks like I forgot to do that. Let's just save that because we just updated literally like hundreds of prefabs, and if Unity were to crash right now, we would lose all that information. So yeah, definitely make sure I save that. Okay, what do we got? Duplicate name life tether. So at some point I made the example life tether, it looks like, and maybe didn't update that. Okay, yeah. I think it might have just been like one or two more that I forgot to update the names on properly. Spin kick, all right. I think that's probably animated attacks. Yeah, of course. I need to basically get rid of all those. Actually, this might be a really good time to make some new prefabs for those animations we found in the mocap animations. So we'll switch that to mocap animations, and so we have left downward knee kick. So we'll just really quickly make that axe kick into a left downward knee kick. And we'll change the icon to a kick icon. And the animation clip, actually we have that, so we have left downward knee kick. And in fact, yeah, we'll just call this example just to be consistent. And change that to the kick icon as well. And then the ability effect, melee special hit attack. So I think we have an example of that. Yeah, example melee special hit attack. Perfect. So now maybe I should go into the animation profile. I think our unarmed attacks. Actually, you know what? I think that's fine for now. Let's just see if we can get this to load. Basically, I just want to make sure I don't have any references. There are duplicate names. Iron bar, so we're still got some more stuff to fix here. So let's go into, this is down here. This is my example iron bar. Oh, it might be in the recipe list here. Yeah, there we go. I just forgot to put the word example in front of there. And looks like, oh, interesting. Looks like I somehow missed this one completely. So we'll use a sample sort icon. Change that to the example dragon blade and change that to example blacksmithing. Okay, good. Those two look better. I'll just save that. Okay. Let's try that again, see if we still have any duplicates in here. Two goblin ears. All right, so that'll be currency right here. Oh, okay, I see. I just have to add the names up there. Looks like I forgot to do that. Save those and try again. All right, gloves of hammer. So that's either. Huh. Looks like I forgot it on more than one. Either that or I did change it in Unity, just didn't save it. It's weird because I know I've been through this directory. Okay, well, let's save that and see what happens now. Zombie attack. That's interesting. The dialogues. I see. Yeah, I don't think I changed the dialogues yet. I think I totally skipped, yeah. I skipped that entire folder there. Okay, cool. I guess I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go through and complete like the rest of these fixes offline. It's getting on close to 2 hours now, and I need to take a break for a bit before I start the next part of this. Hopefully, I just got a few more of these to do, and then in the next stream, we'll actually go through and create all the prefabs that we still don't have yet, and maybe start setting up those sample levels and populating them with all these prefabs and scriptable objects. So as always, thank you for joining, and if you would like to see more of this type of content in the future, then feel free to subscribe to the Cohesion Udemy channel or the Cohesion YouTube channel, or just leave a note in the comments telling me what you'd like to see. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.